So let's go ahead and give this a name. I'm going to call it results, so we know exactly what we're talking about. So we've got this search form, we've got this keyword field, we're finding the match every time we press a key down, and we're displaying that in results. So we've named the elements of our page correctly, so we can sort of remember them a bit later on. So like I said, we've got this find match function that we need to create up here. So let's go ahead and open up a script tag, and then go and close our script tag, and the type is obviously text/JavaScript because Ajax is JavaScript and XML. Okay, so now what we're going to go and do is create our function name, which we've called down here find match, so we can just start a new function. Oh, in the wrong place there. So we can start a new function called find match. It's not going to take any parameters because this function is unique to this field. So we don't need to take any parameters to say, you know, pop it somewhere, or like we did in the example where we created our Ajax code last time. We put two arguments into here to say what file to grab and also where to put the data. So we don't need to do that because we can do that just for the purpose of this search. But you're welcome to modify obviously the find match to suit your website's needs. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is check for a request. So we say if window.xml http request. So remember the case sensitivity of this. We've got capital XML and H and a capital R here. The code inside of here is going to be case sensitive, so be very careful, or your program may not run correctly. So we've got an if, and then we're going to have an else there. So this is just for different browser support, but in this case we say XML HTTP is equal to new XML HTTP request, and then we put our parentheses on here. Otherwise, XML HTTP is equal to a new ActiveX object. So ActiveX object, and we feed in one argument, which is Microsoft.xml HTTP in capitals. Okay, so we've done that. That's set our XML HTTP variable. Now what we want to do is we want to check for the state, the ready state of our XML.http, because we're going to be submitting data through to this, so we need to check for that. So what we do is we say XML HTTP, and we say dot on ready state, and then what's happening is we're going to equal this to a function, and we're going to have no parameters in this, but the function is going to be inside of here. So when we are ready to do this, sorry, this is on ready state change, by the way. Just noticed that there. So on the state change of our XML HTTP, which is our XML HTTP request object, we need to complete the function inside of these parentheses. So the function is, first of all, we need to make a check. So we need to check the ready state and the status of this. So we need to say if XML HTTP dot ready status is equal to for and XML HTTP dot status. Sorry, this is state. I'm confusing things. So we've got ready state equals 4, and we've got the XML HTTP dot status is equal to 200. This is just to ensure that data is being returned. If data isn't returned, we don't need to carry out the following block inside here, which is grabbing the element by ID, which is the element that we're going to be putting the data into is our results div. So what we're doing is we're saying document, because we're speaking about the overall document, and then we're saying get element by ID, and we need to get the element by ID, which, let's go down here and check. We have called this results, so I should have known that because I did name them so I could remember them. Okay, so we need to type in results in here, and then what we need to do is we need to say .inner HTML, and .inner HTML is basically HTML inside of this div. So we're changing this, so we're making that equal to XML HTTP dot and its response value or response text, so the value of the text in response. So XML HTTP.response text. Okay, so we're done with that for now. Now we need to come down and actually send this data. So we need to test it first because we don't know if our code just around here works at the moment. So the first thing we're going to do is XML HTTP, and then we're going to say .open, and you'll remember this from the last tutorial. Hopefully we've got 3 parameters. The first one is the method, so we're using get, and we're going to be using this into this tutorial as well. Now is the file, so we've got up here, we've got search.inc.php. there's nothing in it at the moment, so search.inc.php, and the next is if you want to send this data asynchronously, so we do. So we're going to just type true. By default it's true, so you can leave it out, but I always like to put it just in there. Now we say XML HTTP.send, and we're done. So now what we can do is test this out.